Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. You guys feel like working on a McCulloch SP-125? I sure do. I don't think it's going to take much. But I think we have a couple challenges facing us. And I want to try and get those out of the way as soon as possible. Hear this thing run. Alright. As if you recall from the unboxing video, the tank stinks. There is a layer of varnish in there. And whatever in the world there was for a fuel cap vent, well, that's plugged. I'm actually curious about this. I'm wondering if a duckbill... That is so nasty. Ugh. I'll bet a duckbill dropped in from the top because you can see you got a centered filter up there. That's going to take some work to get that little thing cleaned up. I think what we're going to end up doing is having to drive that filter out of the cap. I've never done this before, so fingers crossed on that one. But in terms of this varnish, okay, we need to deal with that. So what we're going to do is drop the fuel filter a couple times. Hopefully not. I'm going to take this out. Oh, that should tell you guys right there what we're dealing with. I'm going to remember the old Honda Trail 90 tank smelling like that when I was about 7 or 8 years, well, maybe 6 years old, doesn't matter. As no good. No good at all. And I think my dad just kept putting fresh gas in it again and again and again. But I don't really remember. That was a long time ago. What I am going to do is disconnect the fuel hose here because I don't want solvent making it up into the carburetor. And if at all possible, I want to preserve... Oh, man. Is that actually... Ugh. That's unfortunate. Yeah, this hose isn't jacked, so we're going to try to preserve it. We use acetone. Now, I've told you guys before, acetone will eat paint. And it's still true. So, if you choose to do this, please be careful. When I go to dump that out, I'm going to be wiping like crazy up here. And it will still damage the paint a little bit, but I don't know what else to do to get this yucky loose. Because if I just rebuild the carb and put fuel in here and run it, well, guess what's going to happen? It's already turning a milky mocha. Ugh. Ugh. Now these tanks are permanently bonded. There is a seam there, but whether it's welded, bonded, at least it sure looks like a seam. I don't know. Long and the short of it is I am not getting this tank apart. So whatever cleaning I do is going to be accomplished this way right here. And there's a little plate down in here. And I think it's for the filter to bounce on. It's aluminum. That's what I'm getting to come loose. So, yeah. Not good. Not good at all. So, we'll let that sit and we'll go about other things. Like what, you say? Well, let's take a peek at this carburetor. because survey says it's going to be full of something similar to that goo. I mean, there is still liquid visible in the fuel barb there. And that could mean a mess. Or it could mean no problems at all. Alright, this has a fancy little retainer for the choke here that snaps down. And I think I can just slide that out now. Yes, I can. Alright. Let's see if I have to come back to the video to see how to put it back together. I'd hope not. That's actually pretty damned easy. Alright. Get the pulse line off. And these are lines that have grommets built into them, so if I can reuse them reasonably, I'm gonna. Okay. Standard Tillotson carb, what do we have here? HS-124A. Okay. So that means this is a governed high-speed carb. There is no adjustment. That adjustment there should be for the low speed only. And I know that the real performance enthusiasts won't go for that. I'm going to give it a shot. I have no idea how hard it is to find a different carburetor for a 125. But given how hard it is to find a 125, I can't imagine that just a standalone carb is a hell of a lot easier. So, let us get into this thing and see what kind of a disaster we're facing. We'll go on the fuel pump side first. Maybe. Cool. Ah, yuck! I know you guys can see that. Yeah. That stuff stinks! There's nothing quite like the smell of over-ripened fuel. But I'll tell you what I don't see so far is corrosion. And that's a good thing. That gives me hope that this is a non-ethanol fuel in here. Or maybe it's just a miracle that there's no corrosion. So the gasket kind of rotted to the cover there. We'll have to get that scraped clean. Let's finish our discovery mode here. Now I said governed. That may not have been the right word. This may just be a fixed jet, because I actually don't see a governor fitting anywhere on the side. And that is an important distinction. Not nearly as stiff and crunchy as I would have expected, but that cover's broken. Now that's interesting. Bone dry over here. So that needle sealed up well enough that it kept all the yuck over here. So that's good. That's great. I think I'm going to get everything cleaned up and we'll come back. Okay. Here we are. quite grateful that seat held and all that junk didn't work its way over to this side of the curb. Now the screen cleaned up pretty well, actually. But I don't care. I'm going to replace it anyway. Just to be sure that we don't get any of the yucky poo in there. And yes, that's a technical term. When we get to the other side, I'll show you that it is a, the most accurate word is fixed high-speed jet. We knew that coming in, but I'll show you how it works. There we go. Okay. You guys may or may not have noticed I almost always use the black rubber, or what I'm choosing to think of as rubber gasket, on these curbs. In theory, the synthetic one... Okay, what are you doing, dummy? I can't... What the hell? Should be that, right? Right there. What the hell's going on here? Guess it would help to have it the right direction. I can't think and talk at the same time. The black rubber one is the most pliable and should make the saw the easiest to start. The brown synthetic, or whatever that material is, I think it's a blend of a nylon mix or something like that. I honestly can't remember. Anyway, it's supposed to stand up to ethanol in the fuel a little bit better, but it doesn't pump fuel quite as well. You can find videos on that all over the web, all over YouTube. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, because their videos are better than what I could make, to be very honest. But I want maximum fuel flow and ease of start, because I don't tend to leave my fuels, or my saws, with fuel in them to where they're going to do this, and I don't run ethanol. Alright, spring looks good. Let's find our fresh needle. Where is it hiding? There it is hiding. Now, is that out of frame? Not totally. I'm moving it out to the edge because that impulse fitting makes it so I can't set this thing flat and set that spring in place, which I find to be quite rude. But because this is an intake boot saw, I guess they didn't have a huge number of choices. Okay, arm is still adjusted right, so right there, that's the high-speed jet. It's stamped with a .030, and that is just going to activate itself based on throttle position. The more air that moves, the harder it's going to pull fuel there. So once you come off of idle, you're going to start working on that. Now, this thing has got, that's a fairly aggressive idle setting on it. I guess we'll see where it runs. I'm not, going to mess with it now. Let's drop the diaphragm in place, and then we'll pressure test this. No. Let's pressure test it now. That would be smarter. Like a rock. That's amazing. It's real. really a miracle that that needle held and didn't let any of that stale fuel down in there. That makes this job so very much easier. And in place, and it's not going down. Perfect. That should make for a good carburetor. After I was cleaning this up, or got this cleaned up before kicking the camera on, I swished around the junk in the tank, and it's definitely dissolving that old stale varnish. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that it's not going to get everything. I may end up burning, so to speak, wasting a fuel filter felt the first time around. May end up pretty contaminated, but we'll find out. Alright. What next? Let's say I don't expect this to need much. This cap. You can see all the yucky goo. I think, against my better judgment, we're going to try cleaning it here on the bench a little bit. Oh yeah. Now, will you just come back out and bring some yuck with you? Yeah. Yes, you will. That is absorbing the remnants of that old duckbill valve. There's still quite a bit more down in there. Okay. God, that is nasty. I think I want to try knocking the sintered filter out. So let's just go over here to the old vise. I'll set that far enough apart that I can't damage it, I hope. Looks appropriate. There's nothing. Well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Man, that's not nearly as big as I thought it was. So we need to soak that and get all the crap out of it. That must have been one hell of a big duckbill. Let's clean this up a bit. I'm gonna say I'm in full discovery mode here. Oh yeah. Man. Huh. That's hex shaped. Whatever this was. Wow. No wonder my plan of cleanup didn't go as well as I wanted it to. Yuck. Alright, well I need to clean that up, and I think I'm going to have to go to an IPL and then out to the old interweb and see if these even exist. I already have a plan in mind of what I could do with a home light one that wouldn't involve cutting the cap at all, but if the original part exists still somewhere, well, we'll do that. I do want to get that filter going, cleanup style. And we'll use the cap as its own little wash basin. There. That ought to clean up some goo. Okay. Well, that was, again, quick and easy. I think I'm going to go check on the computer. And then by the time I come back, we're going to be ready to flush that tank out. And even if we don't have a functional fuel cap, I think we'll go ahead and drop a new filter in. And we'll try to start it. Be back. Okay. Those duckbills do exist in exceedingly small quantities. And my cost to get one would be close to 20 bucks. I can do better. Okay. So you've got that area to work with. So what I did is I took one of my fuel tubes for home light caps. Okay, the duckbill tube. Cut that down to just right about 5/16. I'm a little off. I'm a little shy of where I want to be, but it'll work. Put the duckbill in the top. Drop it in there. Okay. You see what we got? It's going to seal against this centered filter. That'll work. So what I think I'll do is we're going to put some Moto Seal around this tube just to seal it in the cap. That's what we're going to do. That is exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to probably make a mess doing this. But 20 bucks for a duckbill valve. And I get it. If that's all that's out there, that's all that's out there. You do it and you don't complain about it. But I seem to have a better solution. At least I think I do. We'll see if I'm right. I've been wrong before. I don't know how thick. That hex surface in there kind of confuses me. I don't know why they did that. Did I put enough in there? To get a good seal? I'd say not totally. Again, I'm not sure the way I'm doing this is the best way. Some of you guys may say that I'm just being an idiot too. Don't be cheap and just order the duckbill. And that's fine, but when those really are gone and not available, then what? Because I don't see where anybody's reproducing them. And down the road, what do? Alright, that's pretty ugly. Good news is, you're not going to see it. Okay, I just want to get that out of where the centered filter is going to be primarily. Okay, it's now not centered because of that wiping act. Oh yeah, that'll be enough. Drop my duckbill right in there. This is as clean as it's gonna get. Oop, dummy. we'll tap that back into place. The cap is too big to do the mouth test on. I have confidence in that repair, though, as janky as it might look. I have some confidence in it. Alright, I haven't dealt with that yet, and I may just wait and deal with that later, especially if I happen to have one ready to rock and roll. I know, whoops, I do. But we need to deal with what's in that tank first. This isn't going to be pretty. And I need a paper towel that isn't covered in black duckbill goo to clean up whatever I spill coming out of here. And I'm going to hope this doesn't make as big a mess on my bench as I think it's going to. Bar plate. Ah, that sucks. That sucks a lot. That stinks too. That is chunkers of fuel that is no longer suitable to be fueled. So, what did I gain? Wow. I could probably sit here and pick at this all day. I'm probably not going to do that. The area where the filter sits is clean enough. The rest of that stuff is just going to have to reconstitute itself over time. But we will give this one more flush action with just some straight gasoline, or yeah, I don't want to waste mixed fuel if I've got some regular gas. Now what do you know I do? Man, it's already turned good and cloudy. Yep, that's nasty. I wish I actually had some pig mat. And I don't know why I don't. Next time I'm ordering some supplies, that'll be one of them. So for now, we'll just settle for some more Kroger shopping bags, or Albertsons, or whatever the hell they are, and we'll hope for the best here. Don't slip, you son of a bitch. Well, that got an awful lot of it out. Not perfect, but it'll do for now. Man, that's nasty. Typically I take these containers up to the firewood hill and they become burn pile starter. That one, whew. I don't think I'm going to want my face near it when I light the pile using that one. Using a little bit of this gasoline and whatever else is in this rag to clean that handle up. I'm not sure why this rubber is up here. It ought to be down there. And I'm not sure how easy that's going to be to get back down there. But for what we're doing right now, irrelevant. See if we can snag that fuel hose again. Now, that has gotten soft. It may not be in as good a shape as I thought it was. We shall see. I don't want that yet. Let's put the carb back on. See if we can start this. Okay, so that goes in like that. No, goes in like that. Oh, this is interesting. Come on. Well, you were almost there. Dang it. Damn. Come on. Oh. You're there. You're there. You're there. Don't fight with me, you sucker. Get it all the way through. There we go. Nice. On the, okay. Carburetor gasket came loose. Damn it. No room back here. It's as bad as working on a Super EZ. Well, there's nothing wrong with that gasket if I can get it to go where it needs to go. Big if there, folks. Big if. Looks right. Good thing is you can't mix up where these hoses go. If I had to rig up a new hose for that, I could. We'll see. Okay. That shouldn't vibrate too much. I'm going to leave that a little bit loose. I don't want it building pressure until that motor seal cures. Alright, I've only ever started... Oh. False alarm. We're not ready. That throttle lock doesn't move at all. Only ever started one other 125. And I don't remember whose that was. But I think I ended up doing... Ooh. Oh. Did that get fuel on it? This might have old stale fuel that rotted it away. Spring was even seized on there. Huh. Yeah, great. You went in. I need you to come back out now. Almost got it. That's what it was, folks. Some old stale fuel. Even rotted onto that. Never underestimate the power of nasty gas. Okay, take two. Let's see if this thing will run.
Guess what?
What?
I had to re-pierce my ears. I did it all by myself.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's kind of bleeding right now, though.
Use your stuff.
I will.
Well, I think that's a good sign. Alright, moral of the story, bad fuel sucks. I actually had to pull the carb apart and clean the screen out. I would assume stuff that was left in the hose and whatever bit I didn't dissolve out of the filter, or filler here, the fuel elbow and all that, actually plugged that screen already. And I need to pull, as much as I hate to, I need to pull the carb again. This thing's not retracting all the way at idle, and I don't think it's... Yeah, I don't think it's the spring action. I think the throttle plate is out of adjustment a little bit, so I'll do that. But she runs. She has great spark, and once I am done getting all of this old nasty stinking fuel out of here, and it may take a couple tanks or more to do that. The filter still looks clean, so it's not, whatever it's dissolving is microfine, and it won't be surprising if I have to clean the screen in the carburetor again and again, but sooner or later we'll get there. But whatever, she runs. I'm going to go into cosmetic duty on this thing. I can see where it was trying to pump oil, but it's dry. I need to add some oil to it. Then when that spool of chain arrives from Frawley's, we can hook it up on that 36-inch bar. And then we'll be ready for some of those Doug firs on the hill. Catch you guys on the next one.